Hello and welcome to this segment of Up Close and Personal with Dr. Paula. I'm here in my home office, and you see real life going on outside, and I just love that I'm able to share my heart with you, and I'm hoping you'll leave comments and share your heart with me so that we can become friends, like real friends. In this segment, I wanted to tell you how in the world I started the Global Prosperity and Peace Initiative when I was already so busy with my for-profit, the Women's Information Network. We had 80 events on the books. And one of the wonderful people this is my granddaughter going back and forth, that's Katie. One of the wonderful people who were part of the World Parliament on Spirituality, which was in Hyderabad, India, and I had been a speaker there. Then they had invited me to be the one who would be the director of the next World Parliament on Spirituality every 4 years. And so there'll be one in 2020. Actually, they want to have one on every continent in 2020. So that'll be fabulous. And I support them in that. So what I thought, well, I've already got 80 events on the books, and I have women who are trained. I had women come in 20 at a time, and we had retreats, and they learned how to put on Global Women's Summits as part of the WIN. And so then I needed to shift gears, and what happened is we did far fewer of those, and then we started preparations for this nonprofit, to create a nonprofit for the World Parliament on Spirituality initiative that we launched there, and we called it the Global Prosperity and Peace Initiative. Global Prosperity and Peace. I love those words together. And our mission is to increase the level of love, prosperity, and peace on earth. Great big mission. So it's been a wonderful ride. You could go to prosperityandpeace.org. I've given this URL before, and I'm happy to have you participate any way that you would like to. So what I'd love to tell you about is how did we start this? And it was initiated before we put on the Second World Parliament on Spirituality, which was held in Salt Lake City, and we had speakers and performers who came from over 72 nations, and some lived here already, but many came in. He represented 72 nations, and it was magnificent. It was a 4-day event, and it launched the Global Prosperity and Peace Initiative. So go to Prosperity and Peace if you are interested. That's .org. And participate with us. I would love to have you help us increase the level of love, prosperity, and peace on earth. So when we started this, and then it wasn't about another event. It really was about the initiative from the beginning. This initiative is based on education. It is magnificent in that we have women and men from all over the world in all these nations. We will eventually, this next year, we'll add more nations. We had about 80 nations involved this last year. Our goal is for, of course, 196 nations. Those are all the nations recognized by the United Nations. And actually, speaking of the United Nations, then part of our initiative addresses each one of the, it addresses 11 of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations. And I hope that you can, if you don't know anything about this, then Google Sustainable Development Goals, United Nations, and you'll see what those goals are. Now, the UN had many goals that they call the millennial goals, and they didn't reach them all. Just like we personally don't reach all our goals, right? We set these wonderful goals, we don't always reach them. And that's what happened with the UN, and they hadn't reached their millennial goals, so they created new ones to reach by 2030, which is what we do too. We create new goals, right? And we do our best to reach them. So they have 17 Sustainable Development Goals. And our initiative, the Global Prosperity and Peace Initiative, actually addresses 11 of these. I'm very, very pleased to be able to tell you that. And it is all about education. And we do have, and we're adding all the time, wonderful articles and videos from people all over the world that we are adding to our website, country by country. And on International Peace Day, which was September 21st, 2017, then we in collaboration with many other organizations, we put on about 100, nearly 100 peace events in all these nations, 80 nations. And this was with the help of Rotarians and other wonderful, a Shift network and other wonderful networks that we connected with. So I am so grateful for the opportunity to be able to do this. Right now we have about 300 volunteers, and we have it divided, actually the world divided by region. And then we have national peace ambassadors, and these are people who live in the nation that help put on these events. And then we have peace ambassadors. So these are people who are, they grew up in other nations, and now they live in America and Canada. They're expats, and they are very familiar with those nations. And so they help the people in the nations do the work of the initiative, the Global Prosperity and Peace Initiative, which is teaching lessons in the home, teaching lessons in the schools, helping people start and grow businesses, exposing them to wonderful literature and music and art. It's a great big initiative that we just launched, and so we're developing and developing with the help of all these magnificent volunteers in all these nations. We're so, so blessed to have so many people really embrace our mission to increase the level of love, prosperity, and peace on earth. So in 2018, we will have more events in more nations, and these will be prosperity summits. So we put on peace summits. Now we're going to be putting on prosperity summits. But you could go to prosperityandpeace.org to learn about that. So I just wanted to tell you about this, wondering, have you started any type of an organization? Have you collaborated with others? Are you working on something that is an initiative to, has a huge mission? And if not, then I'd love to have you join us. And if you have, then please tell us about it. I'd love to have you share what you've learned and what you're doing. And all of us are so interested in each other's wonderful efforts to make the world a better place. And that's what we're all working for. Thank you so much for being with me. Leave your comments, please. Go ahead and write, share your heart. And so I can know how to better serve you, and so we can become friends. I'll see you on the next video.